tell us about your project?
So with the situation of Ukraine, I wanted to do something as a musician. Feel any other guitars as powerful as this one.
Muy buenas, hoy tenemos con nosotros a Aryan. Aryan es un artista de Ucrania que ha venido, un artista Gibson. Aryan, thank you for being here in Alfasoni.
Thank you so much, it's an honor.
You got a story of a Les Paul to tell us.
That's right.
That's
good
right.
one.
The good one.
Yeah.
It's this lady we got over here. Just pick
This
it up.
beautiful lady. Right.
Yeah. Because
here we go.
There we go. It's obvious the flag.
Shines and glories, right.
Shines and glories. So tell us how you end up here in Barcelona.
Oh, it took me a couple of 1,000 kilometers to drive. But the main story goes back to 24th of February when the war started in Ukraine, and I wasn't actually planning to leave. I was planning to stay, and I was prepared enough to stay in Ukraine. I live in the capital. I live in Kiev. 24th of February in the morning, war started, and rockets and airplanes and everything like that. So because I had my parents under medical condition, my father had 2 brain strokes and my mother had a kidney surgery, I was thinking to move them outside of the capital to a, let's call it a safer area, right? So I decided to move them in the Kiev region, outside of city, like 15-20 kilometers out of city, to our country house.
Okay.
The country house ended up being the most dramatic, tragic area which instantly got occupied by the Russian army. So it was actually a bad idea to move there. On 25th or 26th of February, because of all the tanks being literally in the city, in the area we were living, I decided to take a risk and leave, which it wasn't easy enough because
you leave everything?
The business, the house, everything. I just took my parents, and it was hard enough for them because they were under, as I mentioned, medical condition. My father was paralyzed, so I had to put them in the car with my cat and just drive to Polish borders. It took 3 days to arrive to Polish borders because of the traffic, because all of the bridges were already broken and the roads were blocked by tanks, and I was driving between the tanks to the border. And we arrived at Polish borders at 27th of February, and it took 3,200 kilometers to Barcelona. I was trying to stay in Poland, any country on the way, but I find it comfortable here, so we end up here in Barcelona by then.
And I have to assume that your parents are here in Barcelona?
Yes, I bring them to Spain.
Okay.
Yes, they're with me in Barcelona.
And they are okay?
Right. For now, yes.
Okay.
Hopefully. They're safe.
It's a very devastating story.
That's right.
Let's talk about music.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's more different.
It's more proper
to talk about music, because you got this in your hands. We've seen a couple of this used by some artists.
That's right.
You can tell.
Well, I saw this guitar first time in Poland. After war, I was on the VIP section of Guns N' Roses, which was my favorite band of childhood. That's what I grown on, right? So we met the technician of Guns N' Roses, and they showed me the guitar for the first time. And they showed me this guitar with the flag. I was like,
Oh,
wow,
that's a thing.
that is a thing, you know? And I was like, why I haven't seen it anywhere? So the concert was perfect. It was the first good thing that happened after the war, let's call it this way. And Slash really just ripped his soul out on this guitar. It was a very good thing. Then I saw later on, well, based on the story I heard, that also Paul McCartney used something like this. And it was sold in auction in order to help fundraising for Ukraine by Gibson. A couple of months later, I was talking to a friend of mine, Joanna Connor, which used to be under Joe Bonamassa's label, and we're in good communication and good friends. I was telling her about the project that I have, about the song that I'm going to release. And
that's why you're here, by the way.
I was telling her about the song that I'm going to release and the whole project, how it's based, how we're going to work on it. And she was like, why don't you let Gibson know about this? Like, tell about the project. I was like, okay. So that's how we get to, with Gibson Gives together. We had a very nice conversation, and as long as the project is a fundraising project to help Ukraine, Gibson Gives was they're just the best people on the planet, you know, the kindest on the planet. They provide me with this beauty, which made me cry when it arrived by the door. You know, it just arrived, and I was like, okay, amazing. It's an instrument in order to help raise fund for Ukraine.
Okay.
This is long
so
story short.
let's we have the story about the guitar. Tell us about your project. I mean, we have Gibson Gives with this beauty, a lot of significant here. Which are the other actors on the project?
After the war, I write blues music, so it's all about love and sadness, right? It's all about, I never play a major chord, never. It's all about pentatonic sadness and love. That's how blues goes. But with the situation of Ukraine, I wanted to do something as a musician, right? I'm not Ukrainian myself, but I live in Ukraine for 15 years. I have all of my friends, I have all of my life based and built in Ukraine. So I wanted to do something as a musician, as a public face from my side. So I decided to break the taboo. For some people this is taboo. Take Ukrainian anthem and turn it to a blues rock version. Okay,
So we had this crazy idea of picking up the anthem of a break country and make it with blues, with help with the
that is
with
right.
the help of
That's the only guitar that can play this song so far.
And then what happens next?
I write this project, and first I provide this project to presidential office, which they forward me to a governmental fundraising organization called United 24. We were into a very long communication with them to understand how we are going to deal with it. Long story short, we decide that before getting to a direct communication or cooperation with United 24, I'm going to perform with this guitar, I'm going to perform this track. All of the funds from donations, streamings, views, everything that is related to this project or this song will be donated to Ukraine, either by governmental channels, presidential office channels, either to refugees or people in need abroad. So this is something that we will discuss it after the project is already released. Let's call it this way.
And the song is going to be used in other...
The song will be a soundtrack of a series, which let's wait and see.
Yeah, let's wait and see.
Can't disclose it yet.
Yeah.
This is going to be soundtrack of a series, which will be released. Also, the main purpose of the song is to be used in as it's motivational. This is an anthem turned to motivational blues rock.
Yeah, we're gonna hear a piece, I think.
That's right, yeah.
A piece of it.
So this is going to be used as like a soundtrack of series, if there is a media, if there is a contents in the social media, internet, as a background song for everything related to this, yes.
We'll talk about it's the blues version of an anthem. Why Gibson? Why you think let's gonna play with a Les Paul. You have too many options.
We're going
right?
to play the black and white, huh? Okay. First of all, Les Paul was my childhood dream. Let's call it this way. My mother, when I was 5 years old, she used to have a music store.
Okay.
And on the showcase, we had a Gibson Black Beauty with a poster of Slash just printed on the whole showcase of our shop. Me and my parents, we had this long discussion since I was 5 years old till I was 10 years old. Every day coming from the kindergarten or school, I'm like, I want that guitar. I didn't even know how it calls, yeah? I'm like, I want this. My father's like, no, you're going to play flamenco. I'm like, okay, but I want that guitar, the black guitar. He gave me a black guitar as a birthday gift, but it was a black flamenco guitar.
Okay.
So I was like, no, it's not that one. I want this.
I want the black.
So, and I was influenced when I was 7 years old. My main influencers was Gary Moore and Slash. The Les Paul is in the blood, you know? So, based on that, when I was a teenager, my mother helped me without my father knowing about this, because he was very principled about the fact that you have to play flamenco. I stopped playing guitar at all.
You actually play flamenco?
I do play flamenco,
yeah. Camera.
I do play flamenco, but I wanted to play blues, or blues rock, let's to be exact. My mother helped me to find me a used Epiphone Les Paul.
Okay.
Which had no strings on, and I remember carrying the guitar like this in the subway, you know, I just bought it. But that time I get it for about $200 something, and I was just, it had no case, it had no strings, it was fully on dust. I was just holding it in the subway, just going home to play it. I didn't even know how I'm going to play it. I had no amplifiers, you know, no cables, no amplifiers. I'm going to do something with this guitar. I still have the guitar.
Okay.
I still have it. I switched the pickups to P90s, and now I still play it on the stage. It's the first electric guitar I ever had, and that is how Les Paul. I don't feel any other guitars as powerful as this one.
You have more reasons that most of artists we have here. I mean,
I had one, like, I remember I buy one of my first Gibsons, and when the box arrived, in a box with big letters, it was written, only a Gibson is good enough. And when I plugged it, I was like, it's more than enough. It's better than everything I ever heard.
That's the best claim.
That's true.
Thank you, Aryan, for being here.
Thank you so much.
Alfasoni.
I really appreciate it.
It's a really motivational story.
It's an honor to be here.
It's a motivational project. It's a very nice guitar with a lot of meanings.
Right.
I can't imagine what is this for you.
A lot.
And well, I only have to say thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting us show them this small piece of track.
Sure.
And let's see another day, right?
Deal. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.